ॐ गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरा गुरुसाक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः। Om. First of all, I bow my heads on the lotus feet of my Gurudeva Sri Devendra Vigyani Ji Maharaj and pray to upliftment of the all aspirants of this tradition for spiritual path. Yesterday, I discourse the last chapter, the Buddhist view, and today the second chapter starts in Devatma Shakti book. The title is Uchist, or the residual power. Uchist, this is the वेद का शब्द है ये उच्चिष्ट। उच्चिष्ट और द रिजाइडुअल पावर, रिसाइडुअल पावर्स। वेद का श्लोक है पूर्णमदः पूर्णम इदम पूर्णाद पूर्णेद मुच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। This slok is from Veda, and the meaning of in English it comes, the whole is beyond, whole is this creation, from whole the whole emanates, of whole the whole having been taken, the whole is even left over. The Adhyatma Bhav is completely infinite whole. And creation of the Visarga Bhav is also complete infinite whole. Bhut Bhav emanates from the Adhyatma Bhav, the whole from the whole, not affecting the wholeness of the parental whole. During the creative involutions, the creation is a complete infinite whole, and thus the involutionary from the Bhut Bhav is also a complete whole. Of whole, the whole having been taken off during the involutionary course, the whole even then is left over. Therefore, the residual is also a complete infinite whole. Ordinary potential energy takes the dynamic form during its course of doing some work and it's exhausted. But similar would not be the case when the sources of emanating energy is infinite. Infinite potential energies should be capable of executing an infinite expanse of work when dynamic and unlike a spent up force should remain in its infinite entirely as residual. In Atharvaveda, White chapter 11, The residual whole is named the Uchist Brahm. The word Uchist is a compound word of Ut plus Sist, meaning the leftover, शेष बचा हुआ. Translation of a few verses of the author Haman in his praise known as Uchist Sukt is here given below. On Uchist rest name and form, and on the Uchist rest the regions within Uchist existed Indra and fire and the universe. On Uchist are supported heaven and earth. The universal existence, water, ocean, and Uchist, moon and air all are supported. Atharved 5th 11.7.2. Fortnights, months with the seasons rest on the Uchistha, the roaring waters and the thunder sounds and the earth. Atharveda 5th 11.7.20. These are the Sukt of Atharveda. Dust, sand, stone, herbs, trees, and grass, clouds, lightning, and rains are on the Uchist well supported. Atharveda 5th 11.7.21. They that breathe and they that do not, they that see with the sight from Uchista have emanated all. In heaven all gods and they that depends on the heavens. Atharveda 5th 11.7.23. Rik and Sam verses. Purana with the Yajur from the Uchist have come forth, and in the heaven all gods and they that depend on the heavens. Atharveda 5th 11.7.24. Gods and Pitris, fathers, men, grand harvas, apsaras, they from the Uchist have been born, and in heaven all gods and they that depend on heavens. Atharveda 5th 11.7.27. Prana, apana, eyes, ears, growth, and decay are from Uchist born. In heaven all gods and they that depend on heavens. Atharveda 11.7.28. The ancient sages of India were lovers of fine arts. They conveyed their philosophies to the uneducated through lifelike pictures, poetry, and music. They talked in allegories and liked to put before the masses the subtle high ideas in philosophy, not otherwise comprehensible to man in the street. In a grave of pictures, poetry, metaphors, smiles, similes, and allegories. All the Indian mythology is an exorcism of this kind. The vicissitudes of the ages have been us forget all their significance, and it is now hard to link up the connection between their thoughts and their expressions, which has become tortured to disfigurement in many cases and confusion worse confounded through jumbling and disconnected ideas of the later commentators and storytellers. The residual cosmic power represented as serpent is one of such expression, expressions. The Uchista Brahma of Atharva Veda assumes the mythological form of the Sesa serpent, the lord of all serpents and the support of the universe, and is called Sesa because of its residual aspects. He is also called the Ananta, the infinite. This is an allegorical description of the infinite residual power of the Visarga Bhav. Left over after the creation is complete, which then rests coiled up as a support of the universe. The corresponding of Adhyatm Bhav is also present there as a Narayan sleeping over the soft but cold kach prepared by the serpent king with its infinite coils. Again, we have Shiva worshipped as an the oval-shaped thaliform linga with the snakes coiled round it. This is a beautiful representation of God in his aspects of Adhyatam Bhav at the center wrapped with involutionary coils of his emanation all round him. Thus, the worship of Shiva in that form is in fact the worship of God with the whole universe emanating from him. A thallus is the vegetative body manifesting no differentiation into fruit, stem, and leaves with all as en mass. It is quite an appropriate picture of God in his Adhyatm aspect with the whole creation within himself. Shiva is one of the Hindu ideas of trade, Trimurti, represents in principle of the destruction and the reproduction. Destruction and of reproduction. The thaliform linga, a symbol, indicates both of disappearance and manifestation of the involutionary emanations at his desire. Usually, worship of Shiva in this form consists in offering of the oblations of fresh cold water showered over the idol as Abhishek, a shower bath with the thousand showers of possible, with the prayers for bestowing peace upon the whole universe, including the person of the devotee. In the case of all living beings, the residual powers take the individualized form of Kundalini Shakti. Also, a serpent-like power represented as a coiled round Shiva Linga, 3.5 times with tail in her mouth placed at the top. The seat of Kundalini in the sleeping or potential state is at the Muladhara, i.e., at the base of spinal column. Representation as serpent indicates involutionary coils of the dynamic Visarga Bhav. Serpent is a living being, denotes life with the comparative loss of the intelligence during the involutionary course. A residual, the power represented as says of or kundalini is in the potential state and not a spun up force after the creative cycle is complete. A force that has been exhausted in affecting its purpose cannot be without a potential residual serve as a support for its product. And as such a Uchishta aspects of Brahma in its potential state supports the universe. There is yet another purpose that the residual power serves. It possesses at infinite potentiality for the imparting a push to the static power for the upward involutionary truth. Involutionary turn to revert back to its source when aroused. Mythological representation of the Bhutbhav before the creation is in the form of female human forms of mother goddesses, but as residual the representation is in the form of serpent. Chapter 3 Evolution. In the preceding pages, it has been shown that the universal life principle in the Bhut Bhav or in the dynamic form involutes and gets transmuted into the different strata of creation and is also left over as a residual charges after the whole creation is complete. This is the downward creative half of the cycle. When the residual charges takes up the upward turn, it begins the involving out of the life principle, completing the other evolutionary half of the cycle and reverts to its sources. According to the Western doctrine of evolutions as a ordinary understood, higher forms of life gradually arise out of the lower. In the lowermost plane, life manifests in the vegetative form and then form of the higher animal life is evolved till the intelligent human being is formed. According to this doctrine, human life is not the end of evolution but is also an intermediate step to a still higher form of perfect human life in ages to come to be evolved. This is the Western idea. The Orientalist gives a different interpretation. According to him, individualized souls migrate from the one body to another after the death in their passes of evolution from vegetative kingdom of animal kingdom and finally to the human plane. Humankind being the perfect body, vegetable, animal and human bodies serve the souls as vehicles in their upward journey. The total number of these different kinds of carriages is supposed to be 24 lakhs. Om 24 lakhs. The different species of the animate life are the direct result of the rays of the sun on the earth. The number 24 lakhs is arrived at by the multiplying the number of zodiac or month of the year by the number of days of the week, viz. 12 into 7. And the life-giving rays of the sun set to be the totaling 1 lakh 100 into 1000 are being radiated all round the year, who is described in the Vedas as Sahasrashmi, with the 1000 rays, each ray playing its role in 100 ways. वेदों में श्लोक है सहत रश्मि सहजा वर्तमाना प्राण प्रजानाम उदये विनयम. The terms evolution and involutions are used by us in respect of the life principle. During the course of involution and life principle gets involved within the force of physical creation, and during the other it begins to be evolved out of the different phases of evolution, both psychic and spiritual. Both psychic and spiritual. In the process of unfolding a seed, it becoming a tree, life descends through the causal and subtle stages to the gross forms of the crude nature. It is involution. In the process of its unfolding, the life ascends from the crude material and living forms through the subconscious, conscious, and self-conscious stage to the original pure state. This is the evolution. These are the senses in which these two terms have been used in this book. But human being, the highest evolved form, is the best instrument for God realizations. A soul defined as that part of man which thinks, feels, and desires is a combined effect of life principle and mind, and as such a governed by the laws of what is called psychogenesis, i.e., development of souls. Pure life principle never undergoes and any change, modification, or developed and deterioration. It is the mind and everything pertaining to mind that changes, and is capable of development. Everything that changes is the dissoluble and not eternal. Life is both eternal and unchanging. Mind is therefore classified by the Indian thinkers as the product and one of the created principles. Om body is vegetative. Animals and human are made up of two parts, physical and metaphysical, both concerned connected together by prana, which shines in them and makes them look animate. The first is called the physical body, an organism of physical elements, and the second is known as Sukshma or astral body, metaphysical, astral body, form of finer principles. Graded development of different species of physical bodies is a physiological growth. Psychological development is an acquisition of experiences gained through the transmigration. Even the vegetables possess some sense of touch. Touch me not is well-known plant. Some trees are known to be carnivorous. They catch up worms, birds, and even animals and suck up their blood to death. There is a genus of plants called lupinus, a Latin word for wolf. Certain trees are known to be influenced by music. Dr. Bose has scientifically proved and demonstrated that all trees exhibit the feeling of pleasure and pain. Vegetable life possesses only one or two of the five powers of senses, and the power of the taking in of nourishment, but no mind, and they too are not in a marked state of development. Lower forms of animal life manifest them more markedly. Mosquitoes, flies, bugs, ants, and similar other insects manifest fear and some degree of intelligence as well. They run for life at the slightest indication of danger to them. Bigger animals and birds possess all the sense organs and no speech. But it is thought that the sound they utter also conveys certain meanings. They express fear, joy, and call or signal of their fellow beings. Most animals take signal of fear from the sounds of those other than their own species. It has been noticed that at the approach of a tiger or a snake, deer and cattle receive the signal from birds. All animals possess intelligence to some extent and emotion of love, hatred, the malice, anger, and sense of the gratitude. They can discriminate between good and harmful. They understand affectionate or angry mood of others. They possess memory, all the entertain fear of death. But their rational and thinking power is not perfect, whereas man is a perfect being in all respects and has an infinite capacity for further development. Individual souls take up after death of one body a fresh one best fitted physiologically for further psychic development. In other words, at different plans of the evolution, different bodies afford graded manifestation of the psychic evolutions. Life principle, having identified itself with them, assumes an individualized entity and looks evolved out to higher and higher degree of intelligence. Fresh experiences and no knowledge, fresh experiences and knowledge add on to the past acquisitions and the continuity, survive dissolution of physical frames of outer bodies. Memory of the past impressions grows dim and looks forgotten, but is never obliterated to extinction. It merges into the subconsciousness and wears the cloak of the instinct. Such accumulation and enhancement of knowledge serves as assets for future progress during the present or future births. This is not an evolution of life, but is the course of psychological growth. Every stage of the psychological development from lower to higher form of life is that phase of evolution in which the prana shakti is regarded by the Eastern philosophers as sleeping. Om. In works of the certain Western writers on the subject of the idea usually met with his that the present is running the evolutionary period. The involutionary half of the cycle is already over, and after the pause, the cycle has reverted to the upward evolutionary march in which now life is evolving out to higher plans and manifestation. But according to the original Hindu thought, this is not the correct view. They believe that after the involutionary course is complete, the body cosmic lives for the period called Kalp, the creators one day. And at its end comes to dissolution resembling death of the cosmic body. And the creator's night of the equal length follows. Then the cosmos reverts to Abhyakta, to unmanifested Visarga Bhav, wherein souls of the bondage go to sleep, called the Mahasupti. Mahasusupti, a long sleep, the long sleep. Evolution of the God realization is the work of everyone's individual's effort and is in fact the real evolution. Every day, child when born, and even animals' offsprings cry Ma. The sound commences with M and ends with A. The sound Ma means mother. In Sanskrit, the letter M means Shiva or the Adhyatm Bhav. The alphabet letter A means Brahma, the creator. The sound therefore denotes creation. The same sound reversed sound Om. A syllable repetitions of which ideas to realization of God or awakens evolutions. Hindu further believe that there exist simultaneously in all ages spheres or lokas inhabited by beings from the lowest to the highest plane of the evolution. Higher than ours are the spheres of gods, Prajapati and Brahma, known as the Swargaloka, Maharloka, Janaloka, Tapaloka, and Satyaloka. Such individual souls as rise in spirituality go after death to higher spheres, befitting their progress. It is claimed that through human body only moksha or emancipation from the wheels of the involutionary Maya is possible, and not through the bodies of the even gods residing in higher spheres. They too have to come down and take up the bodies of men, which only hold key to the doer of evolution to God realizations. Realization of spiritual uplift does not come by great learning and through acquisitions of intellectually only. The present age is witnessing great progress in the field of scientific researches, and human brains appears to have reached a very high mark of intelligence. And hence the Western mind has been led to believe that this is the evolutionary period, and according to them, when the evolutionary cycle will reach its zenith, the age will witness human beings with the maximum of intelligence and with the highest of command over the forces of nature and its resources. But the Hindu idea of evolution is different. They believe in the voluntary reversion of individual souls to the Supreme through the personal unfoldment of quelling of Maya. If nature were to work out the evolution automatically, there should come to in time when all life for vegetable to animals kingdom and masses should share in the evolutionary march and should cease to exist as vegetable and animal, giving place to their last type of evolved humanity. Life of such people with the barren country, with the green vegetable, no trees or groves resounding with the charming songs of beautiful birds, and no useful animal kingdom in their services of unthinkable and horrible. Hindus do not believe in such a mass evolutions, but individual persons are supposed to have been given the choice of making a start in that direction whenever they choose, and complete the cycle of evolution by reverting to their sources in the universal life essence of God. It is the human body wherein the dynamic life principle after the evolutionary process has been worked out. Rest as sleep as residual power known to the yogins and kundalini and process full potentiality of in evolving or uncoiling the folds of the evolution step by step in finally merging into the absolute. When this evolutionary turn is taken, the coiled serpent power is said to have the awakened and uncoiling of the fold of the evolutions commences. Then, before long, even within the span of this very life, completely emancipation is possible. This is the upward course of the spiritual evolution which entrains superpowers usually known as occult power, higher visions, institutions, and divine enlightenment. Soon, tamoguna gives way, and peace disturbing rajasak influences the lust, anger, avarice, etc. are overcome, and sattvic tranquility, unbroken peace, and beatitude of divine bless down. Ultimately, complete unfolding of Maya is affected and self shines forth in his own illumination and self effulgence. Now, today's discourse is phrase. ओम यही दिव्य दृष्टि हमें दीजे भगवान हो कर्ण कर्ण में निस दिन तुम्हारे ही दर्शन तेरी शुभ सत्ता बिना हे प्रभु मंगल मूल पत्ता तक हिलता नहीं खिलता नहीं है फूल रोम रोम में तुम रमे फिर क्या रहा बिछो लेकिन तुम मिलते नहीं एक ऐसा संयोग ओम असतो माँ सद्गमया तमसो माँ ज्योतिर्गमया मृत्योर्मा अमृतम गमया ओम शांति शांति शांति